Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing day 5 in the lead up to the 7 Days of Dead, the second half of The Walking Dead Season 5. This one we're doing a throwback today of an important episode because it features a character that I'm sure we're going to be seeing fairly soon in the second half of The Walking Dead Season 5 or early Season 6. That is, of course, Morgan Jones. We're going to be talking about Clear. Okay, so Clear. So yeah, this is definitely one that I had to include in the 7 Days of Dead because of Morgan, because he's been a heavy concentration in season 5, and this was his most heavy episode. I mean, he had a lot of time in the first premiere episode, and then we didn't see him for a couple seasons, and he returns in this episode, Clear, from season 3, second half of season 3. So because he's coming back in soon, this is a good episode for us to look at because it gives us a snapshot of where he was at that time. Now, how long has it been for Morgan between that time and now? You've got kind of the battle with the governor, the time skip with the governor, the return of the governor, and then kind of all of that happening through to after Too Far Gone, the second half of season 4, and then we started to see Morgan again on the trail, but because of the growth of the shrubbery around the sign, with no sanctuary in that, in the premiere of season 5, it's been a bit in terms of like how long he gets there. So in terms of time frame, when you look at like season 3 before the governor's time skip, Too Far Gone and all the way through, I would say at least it's been probably about a year from then until now. So Morgan's been by himself, maybe a little less than that. Some people, they like to think that The Walking Dead, the way that the show is kind of set up, is that it doesn't go through that much in terms of time. But you guys know that my time frame, I see it as it going by a little bit quicker than how they say it does, just because of the breaks and things like that, and the close and the seasons and that from viewing. But with Morgan, I would say it's probably been about a year. If you really want to be nitpicky and say that it's less, it's probably even less than that. But I would say about a year since we last saw Morgan in Clear. So hopefully we'll see him again soon. And with his time in this episode is incredible. It kind of came out of nowhere. We knew that Rick's group was running low on ammunition. We knew they didn't have that much from early on season 3. We knew that they were kind of running low on ammo, and they were going in hand to hand. And we've known they've been out for a long time, since even beside the dying fire, Rick talks about not having enough ammunition even then because they unloaded so much of the farm. So it makes sense that they're going to need to find some weapons to fight against the governor's group, of course. And, in this episode, they do find that from Morgan. In addition, we get Daryl's crossbow, his green and white crossbow, the new one that he uses. He gets that from Morgan. Rick gets that there. Michonne does, Michonne and Rick, because you got Michonne, Rick, and Carl that go back to see him. First they check, they head out on the road. You see the hitchhiker guy before the credits and that, and they just leave him. They get kind of stuck. They clear out the car from a few zombies, and then they take off, and they see, they go back to the police station first, and they realize it's been cleared out. But they don't know who. Rick doesn't put 2 and 2 together that, hey, it was probably Morgan. He does then they go to what is, I believe, some kind of a main street where they're looking for at least a few guns from people that he had issued permits for. So he knew of a few people that had some, so they were going to go and pick up a few. And they quickly found that the whole place was just booby-trapped to hell. It had been set up by Morgan with some of the most interesting set designs I've seen in a zombie apocalypse anything, movie or TV show or whatever. He's got, the whole street that he resides on, the whole place he lives is just, skewers everywhere. He's got, knives tied to the end of, I don't know if they're they look almost like bamboo, but I would think they're like brooms and stuff like that he's cut the tops off and sharpened, and then he's taken pets. This is a really interesting part. This is how smart he is. He's taken pets, and I never thought of anything like this. And he's used them like rats and stuff like that from maybe a pet store, and he's put them in cages so that the zombies will go for them and will get skewered by these things, these booby traps he set up for them, and they'll get stuck. And then we've seen Rick's group do this in season 4 because he kind of took the idea from him. So we got that idea from Morgan. So it's kind of cool. And we even saw it at the church where they set it up. When they came in, they had set up little booby traps for the zombies to get stab themselves, basically, walk right into the pointy ends of the brooms and everything. And, really, just a really cool design. Then he kind of comes out of nowhere, and at first you wouldn't know that it was him until Rick takes off his mask, and we see, which is the same mask he still wears in season 5. He still got the same one, which is really, really cool. It's also funny that Carl is the one that actually shoots him. Rick and the others. Rick's almost out of ammo. He's got like one shot left. Michonne's there with her sword, and Carl's the one that puts him down when he's attacking them because he doesn't know with his mask on and everything. He can't see that it's Rick, and also he's kind of crazy too, so he's confused and he's got he's got some psychological problems, as we can obviously see. He's got the whole the wall all written across with spray paint and different things like that, chalk or whatever, and. So he doesn't recognize Rick at first, right? So he's basically he's confused. He talks about people wearing dead people's faces, which is really cool because it makes you think of, like, in the comic book series right now, the group called the Whisperers, which do exactly that. I don't know if the idea for them was taken from this episode from Clear, but it's kind of funny. Now you can say, okay, is he just crazy? And he's nuts, or has he had an encounter with that group? I think it's an interesting idea. I really do. I think it's a really interesting idea that maybe he did have a run-in with this group at some point in time during that time frame, which is cool. Maybe we'll see something like it eventually at some point in time. That said, he wakes up, of course. You see the walkie-talkie in that. Rick allows for him to wake up. And the one part about the episode I'll say is a little bit weird is when he does stab Rick with the thing, and the knife looks like it goes all the way in, and it's a pretty good-sized knife. It's like that, right? So, granted, if he did stab somebody there, they'd probably be dead. Let's be honest. They'd be dead. But, TV show logic, same as the Shane breaking Randall's neck thing. His neck broke, killed him. It's just TV show, movie kind of logic that real life may not, apply. If you got stabbed right there, you wouldn't be walking around afterwards. You'd be out for a really long time, probably dead. But I mean, it is what it is. Whatever, they do that for TV. But then, in addition to all of that, you have some of the best dialogue, the most interesting dialogue for me. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, because some people don't like Morgan. I don't know why, but some people don't. For me, the most interesting dialogue in the entire series. And yeah, I would say so, because we don't know what's happened with him. And in Clear, it fills in the gaps. We get to see where he's at that time, that he's lost, his son, Dwayne. He's lost, we knew his wife, but he couldn't. Actually, at the end of that season, he wasn't able to shoot her down, and she was the one who killed him, and just how he feels about that, and how he's kind of developed this OCD that he has to clear his area. He has to clear. That's his purpose in life, is to kill as many zombies, as many bad people as he possibly can. That's what he does. And it's just, it's a really interesting take. So he doesn't come back with Rick and the others. Tells Carl, don't ever be sorry for having to shoot somebody. And then we see him away with you, which is in the season 5 intro, which is really, really cool. You see that wall, because it goes to show how awesome the design of the set is, for this one, or the environment. You've got all these great things, and go back, and all these things, welcome mat, and under it, it's got these knives and everything. It's just, man, it's so amazing. They really put the effort into this one. They really, went all out for it, and it's an amazing episode. So on the way back, you see the hitchhiker, and his backpack is left there, or his hiking bag is there, and he's dead. He's been devoured or whatever. You see blood everywhere. And they actually stop and they grab his stuff, and then they leave. They go by it, then they pack up, grab his stuff, take it, and then they leave with all the guns and everything. Really, really cool. It's cool to watch now, too, because we know Morgan's going to be coming back soon. So I'd say this one is definitely a great episode to watch to prep you for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 5. It's a perfect episode. You guys know, if you've been following the channel since my Season 3 reviews, some of you have, most of you haven't. With this one, up until Too Far Gone, this was my favorite episode ever. I liked this episode more than the Season 3 finale. I liked it more than any episode prior. This was like, for me, this was like the coolest episode ever. Just to see what Morgan's psychology was, to see where he's at, and all that dialogue he has with Rick. It's just, man, it's incredible. The acting from Lenny James, you weren't there, and he's screaming at him, and you were not there, and they're yelling back and forth at each other. Oh man, just awesome. Really, an episode I could watch 100 times. It's so great. So if you guys, if you liked it, if you liked the episode, if you can remember, or if you want to watch it, like I don't know how many of you are watching these each day with me, but if you are and you want to write a comment below on what you thought about this episode, how you think it compares nowadays, I think it stands up extremely well, just as all the others we've reviewed so far have. And then, let me look through my list here of what we'll do tomorrow. We've got Welcome to the Tombs, which is the Season 3 finale, and then we're going to finish it off with 30 Days Without an Accident, just some different snapshots of some different times throughout the drama series that evolves and changes and includes a lot of different characters and is my favorite TV series of all time, The Walking Dead. This one gets a perfect 10 out of 10 from me, and if you guys liked it, thumb it up below. Leave your comments what you thought about Clear. And hopefully see you tomorrow if you guys are interested for two more days of Dead, and then the premiere for the second half, of course, with the reviews and everything afterwards. Can't wait. Anyway, like it, share it, favorite if you want to, and see you guys tomorrow. Trev, same peace.